Hello, this is Film Franchise Review Tuesdays with Sammy and DJ. Today we're going to do X-Men. We just done Spider-Man, but
X-Men.
No, we're going to do X-Men, and we're going to do the films, not the TV series. Even the TV series is really good. We're going to do the films, and starting with X1, which was released in 2000. It's 13 years old. It's older than me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's older than me. So anyway,
That makes me feel old.
yeah. But anyway, X1, other than Blade, was the thing that's really started the superhero genre being not just a silly kind of pantomime thing like Tim Burton's Batman's. It made it more gritty, and Ian McKellen's Magneto is just easily for me the best supervillain portrayal. The best supervillain portrayal other than Heath Ledger's Joker.
Well, I would say that at the time, and maybe still, arguably, that was the first time a superhero villain was given depth.
Yes, it was, because
The first time he was made a character.
Yeah, and made a and it wasn't just a villain too. He had. Obviously, Magneto has a lot of layers to him if you read the X-Men and stuff like that. He has a lot of layers to him, and he's not just a villain.
Yeah.
He has these reasons, you know. He's
You could almost call him an anti-hero.
yeah, and also, what say he's a villain? He's still a civil rights activist for the mutants. I mean, even though it might sound stupid, he's still it's a very good character. Patrick Stewart was born to play Charles Xavier. I can't imagine anybody else in the role.
A lot of Star Trek fans might disagree.
I know they will, but I don't care. I don't watch. I've never seen an episode of Star Trek.
It's a shame.
We'll
have to discuss that at some future date.
I've seen the movies.
Okay.
I haven't seen this. But anyway,
You like them. You like some of them. I'm sure you will.
yeah. Anyway, Patrick Stewart was amazing. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Again, there's 3 people in there. Ian McKellen, I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Magneto. I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Charles Xavier. I couldn't imagine anyone else playing Wolverine. Hugh Jackman.
Even Doug Ray Scott?
Nope.
Alright.
Hugh Jackman was born to play Wolverine. Because before that, he was just in like Oklahoma the musical and stuff like that, and a few Australian things. This was his big break, and what a big break it was for him. He's been playing the character now for like more than my life, so it's an amazing film, and I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Now, in these reviews, Sammy, are we reviewing them for what they were based on the time they were made, or are we reviewing them for an audience today? Like, am I trying to tell somebody who has never seen these movies what it would be like if it came out today?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. But anyway, for X-Men, that wouldn't change. I think it's held up pretty well. I would give it out of 5. I would give it a 3.
3 out of 5.
Yeah. Which to me is not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
X-Men 2 is amazing.
Yeah.
It is for me personally, it is tied at the 4th best superhero film ever.
Wow.
It's just, first of all, Magneto's prison break scene is amazing.
That was cool.
It's just, and here's a good thing that every superhero franchise needs to know: it's funny too. It's if you pay attention to, he says a few cool lines in there, like the guy is really fat and stuff like that, so he says to him like, never trust a beautiful woman, especially one who's interested in you.
Yeah.
So it's dark humor, but it's funny. So and when he breaks out in that ball thing, and that's really cool special effects, and that's 2003 that was made. 10 years later, it still holds
They were
up.
well-made movies.
Everything in that movie was better. Brian Cox as
that guy, Stryker.
William Stryker. It's amazing. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
I'm going to give it. I agree with what you're saying. My biggest problem with that movie is the length. I can't. Every time I think about it, I think about how long.
What about the White House scene opening with Nightcrawler?
It was so good. I just every time I think about it, I just think, man, long. So I haven't really watched it again because I'm intimidated by how long I felt it was. Despite the fact that I thought it was very enjoyable, I will give it a very high score of 4.
4 out of 5. X-Men 3. It's a terrible film. It is a terrible. It's not as terrible as the next film that we're going to review after this. But X-Men 3. It's continuity issues. But all X-Men films, continuity issues bother me. They always change everything. X-Men 3. First of all, you can't have Vinnie Jones as Juggernaut. It does not work.
That was weird.
It does not. It's weird. It's very weird. It doesn't work.
It's distracting.
It doesn't work. I think probably met many people after seeing that. It was so weird they had to go to a psychiatrist and ask them what went on. But also Charles Xavier CGI him in one of the flashback scenes, and also it says that movie says, and this is not this movie's issue. This is X-Men First Class issue. This says that Magneto and Professor Xavier parted their ways in their 50s. And there's the continuity issues. Anyway, based on the movie, basically all it is. First of all, they changed director, obviously, because Bryan Singer wanted to go and do Superman Returns, which is not very good film.
That's gonna come up on another day.
X-Men 3, didn't enjoy it, but I'm still gonna give it a 2.
Okay, well, I guess that's pretty good. X-Men 3 is like the Michael Bay of movies. It was made. I'm almost afraid to even like say anything positive about this movie because it's so unanimously hated, and I can understand fans' frustration. I personally was not. I like X-Men. I've read the Chris Claremont comics and really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed them, but just sort of like I was saying, Spider-Man, I'm not that loyal, and. When I went and watched X-Men 3, I sat in there and I enjoyed it. It wasn't like.
Had you seen the others?
I've seen the others. Yeah, I was a fan of the other ones, but I wasn't invested in any history or any. I just went in there. It was loud. There was explosions. Wolverine was stabbing people, and that was basically all I was asking for, and it delivered on that front. I'm not going to argue with somebody that hates it and try to convince them that it's good.
I don't hate it,
but a lot of people do hate it, and it's like
I like Kelsey Grammer as Beast.
I will give X-Men 3, based on my own enjoyment of it, I'll give it a 3.5.
Why not? But
it's like I have to give a disclaimer just to say anything positive about that movie.
There's positive things in there because Ian McKellen is still in it.
But there's nothing positive about the next one.
No, there is not. X-Men.
It's a shame that it even has the word X-Men in front of it.
I know. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Terrible.
Yes, it is. I watched it. I watched it specifically because I seen the trailers. I didn't really look of it. I watched it specifically out of loyalty to the others, not specifically X-Men 3, but out of the others. I thought maybe this will be an improvement. But a film with Will.i.am in it cannot be good.
It was lacking in joy and excitement that I questioned whether it was me.
And
was there something like
Sabretooth is in X2 and X.
I got to give it. I'm a Liv Schreiber fan, right? And the reason is, and I have my one of my close geek friends, and we really thought he was going to be Two-Face. Because I thought he would have been a great Two-Face, and so ever since that idea popped into our head, I've always seen him as a Two-Face guy, and I've just always liked him for that because Two-Face is one of my favorite, if not my favorite villain ever. So, but anyway, I like the actor. The movie sucked.
Nothing bad to him though, because
Liv Schreiber.
Nothing bad to Liv Schreiber because I have problems with Sabretooth because that's not Sabretooth. Sabretooth is in the others as a totally different character. And that's
different actor,
different character. Yeah. I don't care about a different actor. It's a different character. That's what annoys me the most.
No, but I can't. I don't blame them for that.
It's
to be fair,
no.
because when Sabretooth was only in the first one, right, and he was played by that
Kyler Mane.
Yeah, and at that point they weren't thinking franchise. There's going to be, there's Wolverine story.
Still,
so.
it's continuity issues. X-Men always says, "Oh, we've changed it. Don't forget about it. Forget about it."
Maybe the next one coming next year will explain why all of that happened.
But I don't like it at all. They ruined Deadpool. They ruined Deadpool.
The movie sucks so much. I don't even like feel like giving it this much airtime.
Zero.
Don't watch it. Yeah, whatever. It's just,
but what's your score?
There was like nothing. There was no redeeming.
What is your score?
X-Men Wolverine Origins. I would say it's the worst modern superhero movie I've ever seen. Like since if we're saying Blade or what you say, X-Men the first one brought in the modern age of superhero movies. Of all of them, this is the worst one.
So you're giving it like a
if
0?
I ever give another movie a 1, this is below that. So this
0.
is right now it's 0.
0/5.
0.5.
Yes, 0.5 alpha. I'll give it a 1. I don't like it, but there's special effects are good, I guess.
0 is like 0 is a bit extreme because
you've done it now. Anyway,
I can go back. I give it a 0.5.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the second best X-Men film to me. X-Men First Class is an amazing film. You're going to disagree. It's an amazing film, period. I love James McAvoy as Professor Xavier. I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Kevin Bacon's awesome. Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique. I'm waiting for you to not like it. But it's just an amazing film. I love it a lot. I saw it with my family. They all loved it. I loved it. It's awesome. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. DJ, go ahead.
The only thing I disagree with is whether it's my second or first favorite one. It was so good. It was so good.
I was watching you. I was waiting for that. Yes.
No, X-Men First. To me, X-Men First Class was the first X-Men movie to truly win me over.
X-Free.
To truly win me, because the other ones were like, I'm going to watch a superhero. I'm built-in audience. I'm going to go watch it no matter what. You know what I mean? I'm there. X-Men. I was like, oh, X-Men. It could have been any superhero movie. I'll go check it out. Those were decent. X-Men First Class. I was expecting, a so-so movie.
All we wanted was a so-so movie.
Yeah.
All we wanted was
just anything better than Wolverine Origins.
Anything better than X-Men Origins Wolverine would be the best film ever.
So exactly. So I was going in there thinking, okay, this movie is going to be decent.
And what's what we?
I didn't realize just how awesome I was enjoying how awesome the movie was.
Do you want to know something though? Do you know about the director? Matthew Vaughn was going to direct X3.
Yeah, I know about
that.
I know, yeah.
That, and what if he directed X3? It would have been a totally different.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed X3, so I don't dwell on that. But I do want to say that X-Men First Class, I think, is one of the best superhero movies ever made.
That's tied at my 4th with X3 and X-Men First Class.
If I had to give a superhero movie a 5, I'd give that would be my first one. That would be my first one. I can't really, I would have to think really hard to find.
Is it your favorite superhero film ever made?
Probably not.
Okay, you're gonna say Wolverine.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think any superhero movie for me is gonna be The Dark Knight right now.
You gave Dark Knight 4.5 out of 5.
Well, I mean, I'm a Batman fan. And I'm not, I am an X-Men fan. I guess I can review the movie for what it is, and then I can review it as a fan and like what it means to me in context of, the comics and all that. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
X-Men First Class was a really good film that I didn't have faults with. Batman: The Dark Knight, there were problems. I mentioned that. I did say that there were problems that bugged me in the movie.
There were some problems. Anyway, you've seen a Wolverine, yeah? I'm guessing you've seen a Wolverine.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let me start. I enjoyed this film so much that when I saw it, it was my favorite film of the year. I had no expectations going into it. I saw the trailers and I thought this film is going to suck more than Origins. I saw the posters and I thought this film's going to suck more than Origins. And merely because it's a Wolverine film on his own, and that's why I went into it, and I think it's good going into a film with no expectations, because when you have high expectations, sometimes they don't reach it. And this film, I didn't have no expectations for. The Wolverine, for me, is the third best X-Men film ever made. I prefer it than X-Men, and that's really, really good. So Hugh Jackman's better than ever, and the post-credit scene, spoiler alert, but that's the best post-credit scene ever.
That was pretty good.
I mean, I was watching it and I thought, oh, that ended quite abruptly. That's what, and I was waiting. There's probably going to be some post-credit scene of like this funny thing, like they've done in Iron Man 3 or something. But Magneto and Professor Xavier, and it's so it shook me. It's so good, and for me, and I really like Silver Samurai in this movie. I love to cut in the claws off. I love the opening of the bombs and all that. It's a great villains, I think, in there. Great action sequences, great karate or whatever they were doing, and I 4.5 out of 5.
You know, when I went in to watch Wolverine, I have to say that again, like with First Class, I wasn't expecting that, and I think that may have been my favorite cinematic experience this year. I loved it, and again, I did actually say to a friend I wasn't sure whether I like it more than First Class, but I just loved
Neither.
it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
It was really, again, Wolverine Origins set the bar so low.
Anything
would have been better, and so getting anything better than average was just made it so much more special. And there were some things that happened in the Wolverine that I hadn't actually considered, like the first early part of the movie, the first half, when I was watching, I was having an issue with it because
Didn't you love the train scene?
I did. Even the stuff that I was having problems with, I realized I liked.
Oh, and the hotel with the space room.
No, it was specifically how Wolverine was moving, because I never actually, believe it or not, I had never actually thought of Wolverine as a superhero for some reason, and that movie was the first time that occurred to me, because I was like, wait, people don't jump like that. He was jumping higher, moving faster, throwing people, like just the strength and the power that he had. They didn't really demonstrate that in any of the previous X movies.
And Jean Grey, and
the way he moved, and I realized, wait a minute, that does actually make sense. He's the freaking Wolverine, man. Like he's actually they put more detail to it, and that made it that much cooler for me. So I really enjoyed it. I'd seen Man of Steel, and that was a lot of explosive action, and this is a whole other topic for another. I think we're going to do Superman at some point, right? But Wolverine, I have to say, went beyond my expectations, and so I would give that. I would give that a 4.5 out of 5.
Me too, actually. Yeah. We are agreeing. I'm going to do one question today because we're kind of running out of time. But one question today is, are you excited for X-Men Days of Future Past and X-Men Apocalypse?
I am excited for both of those.
As you may know, it's the second best trailer of the time.
I've heard of Apocalypse. I'm not familiar with the storyline.
I haven't read the storyline, but I know of it.
Past, though.
Really? Yeah. Don't tell me.
I won't. I don't really remember the details or anything. I wouldn't really tell you much anyway. But I know what it means to. I'm excited because the fans are excited. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's.
And Bryan Singer is back.
Yeah.
And he directed the first two.
Bryan Singer, to be honest, for me, is I'm not sure, because I know he's a good director. There's two things Bryan Singer and Christopher Nolan have in common for me. Okay, one, I think they're both great directors and have directed some of what I consider to be the best movies. Whatever I say about Dark Knight Rises, whatever I say about Nolan, I can't take that away from him. The guy is good, and Bryan Singer's good. But both of them falter on action a bit for me. Bryan Singer is actually better than Nolan in action, I think. The action movies were really good.
By the way, viewers, I'm shaking my head.
But First Class, I mean, I'm a bit concerned because of Bryan Singer hasn't yet earned my trust back from Superman Returns. That's basically what I'm saying.
Did you see Jack Jones Lair?
No.
I liked it. And a lot of people didn't. I really enjoyed it.
I didn't. See, that's what I mean. Bryan Singer's name was a bit muddy for me right now.
Superman Returns is terrible.
Well, we're gonna have that's coming up, but that's what I mean.
Okay.
That ruined that name for me. So I don't know. So hearing that he's back, I'm not as excited as everyone else, but we'll see.
I am. Anyway, so this has been a film franchise Tuesday reviews. Or
One
whatever.
thing, can I just say one thing? X3 did that
You're gonna say
I,
action, aren't you?
that I felt improved over Bright Singer. And it's
Because
specifically-
it's
because
Brett Ratner.
it was-
Brett Ratner's only direct action.
when just the way they fight, it was the first time that it occurred to me that how come all the X-Men movies, I mean the X-Men characters, the mutants in Bryan Singer's universe, no kung fu? Like, where did that come from? In X3, it wasn't kung fu, it wasn't martial arts, it was gritty, hardcore,
Okay.
brawling.
Anyway, this has been Film Franchise Review Tuesdays with Sammy and DJ, and this has been X-Men reviews. And next week, I think we will be doing Star Wars.
Wow.
So we'll see you then.
All right. See you
Bye.
then.
Digi.